might ban me for this song, hey, but this is how I'm rocking. Can't be trans cause it ain't real. They need a mental asylum. Say the truth, they look at me like I'm the one with the problem, but they mess with little kids. That's why pedophilia rising, but that's what happens when you give an inch to the gays, promoting sin instead of telling them they should change the ways. They make you wear a mask, you comply, that remind me of slaves. Got my order wrong at McDonald's, thinking you need a raise. I'm about to break the meter, two-way got my heat up. Hey, I don't wear Nike, I only rock Adidas. Hey, I'm in the street, yeah, and mostly y'all just tweet us. Hey, and false teachers, so Bryson got a tee up. If a man dress like a woman, then it should be a crime. If you impersonate a cop, then they gon' give you some time. Say you a queen, but all you do is twerk and show your behind. And people think you a 10, but you ain't worth a dime. You scared of COVID, but you around like...
Want to take a shot? Vinny, you want to give?
Yeah. Can I talk to?
I'll
Ms.
leave it for
Enigma?
Zen.
Yeah, is Ms. Enigma the Alex person you guys keep referencing?
Yeah.
Okay. What's up, Alex?
Hey, Zen.
Hey, are you an atheist?
I am an agnostic atheist. Yeah.
She said chicken atheist.
Okay, so you lack belief in God, correct?
I lack the belief. Yeah. If somebody can prove to me that a deity exists, then I'll change my mind.
Okay, so basically what you're asserting in your worldview is your criterion for belief is the presence of evidence, and your criterion for disbelief is the lack of evidence? Correct?
No, not wholly.
Okay, then what is your criterion for belief in something?
Well, what you're saying is accurate, but also from a philosophical point of view, nothing can be proven and everything can be proven. So for me, yeah, I know it doesn't make sense. Some people are going to be like, well, that doesn't make sense, but nothing can be proven. That's why we
so
have
you just agreed with me and then disagreed. You said, yes, that's what it is, and then you added something unrelated. What is your criterion for belief in anything?
In this reality that we have evidence and our senses and how we interact with the world to ascertain certain things and whatever. So, for instance, in the morning when I wake up, I expect the sun to rise, and then in the evening.
Okay, so evidence and observations.
But that doesn't mean to say that that's what will always happen. Something could change later on. Not that it would, but something could.
You're rambling. Okay, so I just want to know your stance on whether you believe in something or not is the presence of evidence for it, and that you can observe it or see it or something, right? Is that correct?
Well, if you can experience it, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So and then you've got evidence for it, right?
No evidence. There are different types of evidence. Now, evidence.
Oh my God, she's gonna ramble again.
Good luck, brother.
You want me to answer
you're just
just
trying to filibuster so you don't have to accept that your criteria for belief is evidence. That's all I want to establish right now.
But that's my criteria. That's my criteria. Just like
okay, great. Okay. Thank you. Your criterion for belief is evidence. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So let's apply this in terms of believing or not believing in God. In virtue of the law of excluded middle, it is either the case that you believe in God or not. Being that you don't believe in God, you do believe in the not God, right? Because these are, and then applying the law of non-contradiction to negate one proposition or to contradict one proposition is to present its negation and falsify it, right? So you've got the not God falsifying the God worldview, and you do positively believe in not God. So I'm just asking, what is your evidence for not God?
No, I don't believe.
What is a not God?
He's basically
not God is not God. And I'm just asking, do you have evidence for not God? That's the question.
He's asking me, which side am I going to pick? Because there can only be positive or negative.
You've already picked one. You've already picked the not God worldview.
I picked
yes, you did. You said you're an agnostic atheist and you don't believe in God. So then it follows that you do believe in not God.
To suggest that there is a God. So if I don't have the knowledge of it, then I am agnostic. If I do
No,
not
but
believe
you've
in
stated
God,
positively that you lack belief in God. Therefore, you do believe
well,
in not God.
I have about as much belief in a God as I do as a unicorn or
Okay, so you don't. So
Bigfoot.
do
Not
you believe in
all.
unicorns?
So
Hang on. Do you believe in
I
unicorns?
not unicorn.
Well, people write about unicorns, but
Do
it
you
doesn't
believe
mean
in
they don't
unicorns? See,
exist.
that's a
Hey,
non-answer. That's a
They
non-answer.
could
Do you believe
be.
in
They could
unicorns?
exist. They could exist.
guys, I'm
Just
gonna be
like
on
they
mute for a
could
little bit,
exist.
okay? In case you don't hear me, you know I'm on mute for a little bit.
I don't want to know what they could be. I want to know, do you believe in unicorns?
I can't make that decision, Zen. That's like
Okay.
me saying to
That
you,
Okay, so then
what
are
happens
you
if
walking back your claim that you don't believe in
no,
God?
no. Zen,
she
I'm not
doesn't
going to
believe in God though.
I know
I
she
have
doesn't believe in God,
no
but
belief.
she's
So,
fallen into a philosophical trap here and she's
no, I
trying to
haven't.
filibuster her way out of it.
It's not a trap.
No, I
It's
haven't.
not a
It's
trap because she doesn't
agnosticism.
believe in God.
It's
Hold on, hold
Stop
on, hold
white
on.
knighting for her. Stop white
Wait,
knighting for her.
wait, wait,
Let her fight her way out.
He
wait,
is
wait,
he is trying
wait,
to gaslight me. That's what
wait.
he's trying to do. And basically, it's agnosticism. So if you have had no experience of something,
Getting muted already, bro. I'm not sticking around if you're
please
gonna
let me
mute me now.
finish.
Fuck
Please
that.
let me finish. I haven't muted you. I don't even have a star.
Well,
No, that
whoever
was
the
me.
host is,
That was me. I was
they're
trying.
white knighting for you because you're getting wrecked right so far, and they're
I'm not
No,
muting you
getting
I'm
to
just
wrecked.
trying to
protect
figure
you.
out.
I'm in
Hey,
agreement,
hey,
but
hello, both. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. I just got back. That's
Okay,
Yeah.
why
then
I'm
maybe
let
you
here. I
should
let
try to
let
then
mute. I
then,
try to mute
let's
maybe
mute
everybody.
you shouldn't
Steezy.
mute me
Let's
if you don't
mute.
know the
Let both
context.
of them. Let's both of
Yeah,
them. Let's
maybe you
both of
Yeah.
them
shouldn't
have
just
a
So
pop
go.
in
let
and
me
mute the guy
answer.
that's I
Zen.
don't know talking
No,
to the
let me
girl that you're simping
answer.
for.
Let
I'm
me
I'm I'm I'm
answer.
I'm really lost. Like I'm trying to figure out
Well,
what's going on. Like
then stay out of it, bro. Just gather context.
So Zen, what you can
yeah. And not okay. Now, what was the topic you were trying to say, Zen? What were you trying to
Hey,
ask?
what's up, guys?
Hey, how you
Yeah.
doing?
So
Hey,
yeah, I think I heard enough actually from Alex here. She initially stated, and I'm not paraphrasing her. She said, "I am an agnostic atheist, and I do not believe in God." But now she has effectively
I
walked
did
that
not
back, and
say I do not I have a lack of belief.
and now she's interrupting me. But
Mm.
now she's
Because
saying
you're
now
being
she's saying and now she's
disingenuous.
interrupting me again. Okay, and then
You're
I'm the
being
one getting muted. I'm the
disingenuous.
one getting muted and kicked off, and she's
Wait,
interrupting me.
wait, wait,
It's not
wait.
fair.
Pineapple's Miss Enigma. Can you like let him like elaborate what he about to say for
Go
like
on,
30
man.
seconds or like a minute?
Yeah, I
All
mean,
right, yeah, you can go ahead.
I'll be very quick here. I'll be very quick. She came up and she was like, "I'm an agnostic atheist." She used the word atheist,
Okay.
which means it's
Okay.
either the lack of belief or the denial of the belief or the negation of the existence of God, however you want to put it. And then when pressed into the corner and how that leads her to philosophical suicide, she ended up filibustering and ultimately contradicting herself, and now she's taking the position of agnostic. She's walked back her atheist position. That's great. Okay, that's all I need to say.
Can I comment?
so what?
Can I comment?
No,
Can
yeah,
I,
go ahead.
Go
can I
on,
rebut?
Enigma. Go on.
Thank you. So to rebut that, first of all, I consider myself to be an agnostic atheist. Okay. And the belief or lack of belief is that I have a lack of belief in the deity. So on the belief side, I have picked a side. When it comes to the knowledge, I cannot pick a side because I do not have the knowledge of either way. So what is disingenuous about that?
It's not that it's disingenuous. You're just not following where this leads you. So are you familiar with the laws of logic?
Absolutely. And I know that, your use of circular reasoning, ad hominem attacks, I
I didn't
understand it
ad hom
all.
anybody except when I called the one guy a simp. But
You
whatever.
did. You called him a simp. You said
Okay. Get over it. Get over it.
rambling.
We can move on now.
Yeah,
But
I'm
it
just gonna move
doesn't
on
make
because
sense.
I don't think this is going nowhere. I'm just gonna play these messages because they're piling up.
Okay.
Yeah. So starting off for the Empire, which is like 235. God.
I'm not sure what Zen's. I think he's asking the wrong thing. You should be asking what's your criterion of knowledge, and whether you take this some justified true belief account, or maybe something
Thank you, Mike.
like a JTB
Thank you.
plus, given Gettier cases.
Yes, thank you, White
The
Knight.
criterion for belief is just some intentional state. You can just believe a proposition to be true. So,
Then why is everybody a white knight?
Well
unless
said.
you
What
believe in
rubbish is that?
what's called doxastic
Because
voluntarism, then you would
defending
choose a
anything that
belief,
she
but
just
that's
said
clearly
is
not the case.
just
We're
strictly
convinced for
simping.
reasons.
I'm sorry,
What
but it
does that
is.
have to do with white knighting? What does that have to
Because
do
that's
with
what a
being
white
a
knight
white knight?
is, a simp. A white knight, a simp. You're protecting the pussy, basically.
Because you guys keep going into belief and evidence.
You're an idiot.
Belief doesn't require justification. People believe things all the time that are entirely unjustified or haven't been substantiated to be justificatory. So the question is not in virtue of the belief, but it's in virtue of the justification for a belief. That should be the criterion, not a criterion of belief, because that's just an attitude towards a proposition, whether it's true or false.
Right. Next
Then,
one.
if you bring me up, I can answer that. There's
I
no
don't even know
God
what the
because
question is now.
intentional states presuppose a
Jmike,
body,
who
right?
can
There's
bring
just
you
no
up? Mr.
sense
Real
of a
talk in the
disembodied mind
building.
with intentional
Right.
states or normative states, absent some body, right? It's just an incoherent notion.
Hey, I'm
Smart
I'm
philosophy.
Right. It's been a while since we thanked everybody for listening, but everybody who has participated and listened to the panel, thank you. I'm not
Yeah, I'm
going
about to
through
go.
the names.
Yeah,
You know who you are.
right. Shout out to the audience. We got Dem Rock. We got Ari, R. We got JD. You got Don Casamigos. You got Jmike. You got His Hands. You got Ruxter Lenny. You got Personal. You got Proclaimer. You got Impulse. And you got Mr. Real Talk in the audience. Appreciate you.
I'm gonna.
All right, let's get back to.
Well,
What's
I'm
up?
gonna.
Follow
Well, I'm doing
yourself.
stuff around the house, so I'm gonna jump off if somebody else wants to hop on.
Get real talk.
All
right, bro.
All right, you
Or
guys
personal.
you guys have fun.
Get
Okay.
personal.
All right, Brandon, enjoy.
All right, you too, man. Where you
Later,
see,
bro.
bro?
Peace.
Over the years asked me about women in the Bible.
Please.
Isn't the Bible misogynistic? Doesn't God hate women? They ask. All these people are quick to dismiss the Bible as worthless and useless because they have these kinds of assumptions. A careful look at the Bible, though, will tell us just the opposite. How much God treasures and cares for this special creation called woman. And so what better place to start, as we're going to talk about great women of the Bible, than the place God started?
Well, that's going to trigger up Ben Shapiro.
I mean, yeah,
Please,
misogyny
can I,
is based.
join and talk
but,
to this guy?
You said what's up?
I was just gonna say that misogyny is based, but yeah, like a deeper look on the Bible shows that women are a treasured creation, and they are equally as
I think we should have
valuable as men.
put somebody who's a theist.
What's up,
What
Jay
is
Mike? Let's hear it. You're an atheist, right? I know who you are. I've seen you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm an atheist. Yeah. So, if you're a Christian, why would you want to rely on a stronger claim than what would just falsify your worldview and the fact that Christianity is false?
A lot of what I'm hearing like beeping. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to plug in my phone before it dies. I'm saying I don't know why you would rely on a stronger claim like whether or not atheism is true. It seems to me that what would suffice is just the fact that Christianity is false.
Okay, and how did you determine that?
In several ways we determine that. For one, there was no Adam and Eve, so there's no original sin, so therefore Jesus died on the cross for nothing.
Okay, so that's a positive claim. How do we get there?
Yeah, how do you know there was no Adam and Eve? I'm going to be on Zen's side here.
That's fine. Yeah, because there's no successive proliferation of a species from two things with the same genetic material. Won't happen.
And how can you prove that?
It's because what's required in justification is raising the probability of.
Yeah, but how do you know that a deity doesn't exist and could create that?
Exactly.
Yeah,
So-
well,
so you-
to put it simply,
I can answer the question.
Okay,
There's
go ahead.
there's novel predictions, right? Whenever you talk about something that's substantive in terms of like inductive evidence. So when we talk about something demonstrating itself to not be imaginary but to be actually reflective of reality is in virtue of novel predictions, and we generate novel predictions under the hypothesis that successive proliferation of species will not happen with two species with the same genetic.
It's a bunch of double talk, a bunch of philosopher speak. So basically, to put it very simply, when you say when you say matter of factly that there was no Adam and Eve, you have to be able to substantiate that with proof, or in other words, impossibility of the contrary, meaning it could not have been any other way that Adam and Eve did not exist.
Yeah, impossible to the contrary is just a bullshit way of saying, like, your position is P, you have to show me that it's not, right? Like, show me that
But yeah,
it's not.
you've made the positive claim.
Yeah, and I gave substantial,
No,
substantive
you
inductive
didn't.
evidence.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
What is
Okay,
the
so-
evidence
so-
that? What is the evidence that Adam and Eve did not exist?
Yeah, so we have, listen.
The positive claim is that they exist.
Real fast.
It's not been
No,
proven
he has
they
made the
exist.
positive. He has made the positive. They're both positive claims. They're both positive claims.
Look,
But he's
nobody-
made the positive claim that they don't
Zen-
exist.
Okay, I'm
Zen
not
is
gonna-
actually right here. It's a positive claim. So a positive claim is an assertion,
I am
and
making a
a
positive
negative claim is if you're rejecting the claim. So basically, if you say something is with knowledge or something isn't with knowledge, then the burden of proof is on you to prove it. Now, unfortunately, we
Making a
cannot.
claim.
I cannot. For me, I cannot prove that a deity exists or does not exist. Okay, that's why I'm agnostic. I do not have the knowledge of that. But I'm also agnostic to say I don't need to believe that there could be a God just because I look at a tree or I look at this. Like most people say, look at the trees, look at this. I don't have that preemptive.
Well, to be fair, quickly, I think it was a slight mischaracterization when Echo. I remember when Echo King was saying that just go look at the trees. That's proof of God.
Yeah.
He's on the right. He's on the right track, but saying it that simply is a little bit of a mischaracterization.
But
so
your
I'll give you. I can understand why you wouldn't agree with him on that.
Is your position that you know there is a God or that you believe there is a God? Because they're two different things.
I'm making a positive claim, right? So we don't have to worry about whether or not I am or I'm not. I am making a positive claim because in population genetics, right, like it's just the case regarding like why like a Y chromosomal atom and mitochondrial Eve, right? It's just going to fall out of the picture, right? That thing could not exist from deductive reasoning, and better yet, a posteriori reasoning, right? And you can apply that in an a priori just deductive syllogism. It's not just. There's nothing about.
Okay, give me the syllogism for conclusion. Adam and Eve do not exist. Go ahead.
If sure, gotcha. Yeah, premise one. If it's the case that Y chromosomal atom and mitochondria Eve indicates that you can't have successive proliferation from two species with the same genetic material, and that is the case. That is the claim within Christianity. Then we have proven something that cannot happen, right? So therefore, it is false.
Yeah. So what about if I said to you, God can do anything, as the first premise. Second premise, God created Adam, and then third premise, Eve came from Adam magically by God. Therefore, Adam and Eve were created. It's exactly the same. It's the same claim, even though we have evidence.
Yeah, I think this is a very lost battle for Jmike here. Even the atheists are disagreeing with you.
So for me, I mean, I'm an atheist. Right?
I don't care about what people disagree. Let me just real fast say my point, right? The point is, this is an inductive assessment, and we look at knowledge and what is justified, and we look at the theory, what explains life. And your hypothesis has to start with two things, and we look at the a posteriori considerations, and that doesn't match up with the explanation.
This is, again, just a bunch of philosophy.
I'm not done. I'm not done. So I'll say it in normal speak, okay? Listen,
yes, please.
If it's just the case that evidence, which, by the way, when I say a posteriori, we have empirical evidence explaining a phenomena, and the phenomena has driven novel predictions in one case to substantiate the hypothesis, and then another case, not only has it not, it's contradictory to the view that actually has driven novel predictions. You can rule it out.
Again, just continuous philosophy speak. This is not. You're not
putting. You can't grasp the simple concept, right?
It's not. It's clearly not a simple concept. You're using all these philosophical terms, and it's not to say that I'm anti-intellectual or something, but you're just using all of this complex esoteric language to get around actually having to provide. Hang on. Listen. This is what I'm looking for. If somebody were to say, premise one, squares have 4 equal sides. Premise 2. Circles have 1 round side, or whatever or that all points to the edge are the same distance to the center. Or conclusion: squares are not circles. Okay, we found the contradiction. Squares have to have equal sides. Circles don't. Okay, we've got a contradiction. So now do something similar. Do something similar here with premise 1. I don't know
Yeah.
what you're going to say. Premise 2, whatever. Conclusion, Adam and Eve did not exist. Could not have existed. It's
I know
impossible.
what you're saying. Look, I'm going to show
want
you
the
the error.
contradiction.
I'm going to show you the error in your reasoning, because what you're asking me to do is take empirical, what's called a posteriori considerations, inductive evidence, and structure some a priori deductive argument, right? That's not how that
So you don't
works.
have evidence. So you don't have evidence.
No,
This
listen.
is what I'm called sci-fi.
Hold on. You're making a novice, like, white belt philosophical mistake.
Philosophy is a thing.
No,
Listen,
you are. You just claimed that Adam and
you
Eve
know
did
the
not
difference
exist.
between a priori
That is a
knowledge
white
and
belt mistake.
Zen,
you
you know the difference.
You need to be able to prove that. You need to be able to prove that with the impossibility of the contrary.
For the sake of brevity, I'm going to ask you a question, right? And I expect you to either answer it.
I would prefer no questions. I would prefer you to.
Look.
I would prefer you to prove your
in order
claim.
for you to understand my point, do you know the distinction between a priori and a posteriori knowledge? Yes or no?
A priori is what? Is that inductive reasoning, and a posteriori is deductive reasoning? Is that the...
No. A priori is deductive, not needing experience. A posteriori is empirical assessments of the world, like science and things like that, right? So what you're asking me to do is a category error, because you're asking me to take empirical evidence in some deductive form of some knowledge without experience.
Yeah, that's what would be required. That's what would be required. Some empirical evidence that Adam and Eve did not exist.
If your epistemology just requires a priori deduction, you're gonna have hard.
Yeah, but your claim would require empirical evidence.
Look, listen. Yes, and I gave that to you. I gave you literally.
No, you didn't.
Okay, what did you not understand about the novel predictions that are driven in proliferation of species, explaining the phenomena where yours fails? What part do you not understand about yours fails and mine does not? What part do you not understand about that?
I don't even know how to respond to the question because it's so unclear. I'm not wrong about anything. You have made a positive claim that Adam and Eve did not exist. Prove that claim.
I did.
Prove it to a fifth grade. Prove it. No. Prove it to me in a way that a first grader could understand it.
Yeah, sure. There's this thing called explanations for like, so there's this thing out in the world, okay? And we go, what is that? And we have to explain that. And I look at the kid and I go, okay, this guy says he read a book and says that Adam and Eve was put there by God, right? And I'm saying, no, look, we look back at things like structure of nucleotides. We look at.
I don't know what a nucleotide is. I'm in first grade. I don't know what a nucleotide is.
That's fair. We look at DNA, right, which is the building block of life, right? It's what you're made of. It's what all everything's made of, okay? And
he's in sixth grade. He doesn't know what DNA is.
Okay, I'll grant you like sixth grade. I'll give you a sixth grader so they can have at least a basic of science and biology. Okay.
But yeah, so I explained to them that we all have DNA, okay? And then in virtue of how we got here, right? The origins of species, and I show that we have novel predictions that correspond not with just the field of biology, right? But we can do this with archaeology. We can have novel predictions.
Wait. I have a question, Mr. Teacher. Are predictions necessary, or are they just predictions?
Yeah, predictions are necessary to generate novel.
No. I mean, does a prediction follow that something is necessary and been proven, or is it just like an estimate?
Yeah, that's a great question. That's a great question, because I could predict the sun comes up. That's a great question, because I could predict the sun comes up tomorrow, but there's nothing novel or new about that, right? So if I just say the sun comes up tomorrow, if the sun comes up tomorrow, then the Christian God is true. There's nothing novel there, right? The difference is that if I can come up with a prediction that happens in the future, that's something that we don't know about, then my hypothesis is fucking better than yours.
You've now lost the sixth grader.
Why are you cursing at a sixth grader?
Again, yeah. Why?
Adam.
Actually, serious and intellectual discussion.
This is the point. It's quick. Just to put it simply, like, if you can't explain something in a way that a very dumb person can understand it, then you probably don't understand it enough yourself.
Yeah,
you can't dumb it down to the.
Okay, look, I run a fucking call-in show where several Christians call. Okay, look up Talk Heathen or Atheist experience, and they
I understand. I know who you are. You're a joke of a person. I know exactly.
I know who this guy is. He's kind of, even Matt
he's not a serious person.
Doesn't respect them.
Look.
Well, other people speak. Other people need to speak.
You just realize that my inductive evidence actually goes against you.
I know who this guy is.
You don't have any evidence, dude. You're just using
just
philosophy
gave
speak to just, I don't know, ramble
Zen,
about something
I just
that nobody
gave
can
you
understand.
I don't know.
evidence in science,
other
not
people on the
philosophy.
side, did you want to say something, sci-fi?
I'm a bit confused. Like, why are people bothering themselves about trying to? Adam and Eve exist in a specific context. They exist in that context and that context alone. Has that context been proven? No. So
No.
what's the problem? What's the
Exactly.
Okay, so
argument
you're not following. The positive claim was that they did
Yeah.
not exist in any
Yeah,
context.
Yeah,
And
that I agree with. So
Yeah,
for
but
me,
the
listen,
person who is
so-
claiming, hold on, the person who is claiming
Yeah.
Adam and Eve exist because of that context. Now, if you come and say Adam and Eve exist and you don't prove it, and you are saying, oh, because I say no,
So again,
because
he's
you
just not
haven't
following the
proven it.
conversation.
I'm not even
No,
worried
because
about him.
you are
let me
saying,
explain.
Guys, I'm not
Let
worried
me
about him
explain it like
substantiating
a
the claim.
first grader. Let me explain the whole thing like a first grader.
okay,
Okay. So let me explain that. So if somebody makes a positive claim, I have an apple behind my back. Okay. I've got an apple
yes,
behind my back. And you would turn around to me and you would say, I don't know if you have an apple behind your back. You would need to show it to me for me to know whether you had an apple behind your back. And then I bring the apple round and I say, here's the apple, and show it to you. You taste the apple, you smell the apple, you feel the apple. So I had an apple behind my back. That is a positive claim that came with evidence to support that I had that claim. Yeah.
apple, right,
If I was to say to you, I have an apple behind my back, and you would
right.
say, I don't know if you have an apple behind my back, behind your back. Show me. And I
No,
turn
that's
around
not
to
what
you
I
and
would
said,
say.
no,
Yeah,
listen.
sure.
No, I'm not saying you're saying that. I'm saying you
Yeah,
as you, collective you, everybody in the whole world. If somebody turned around to me and said, well, show me the apple, and I said, no, I'm not going to show you the apple. You just have to believe that it is, because that's all it. That is what we're trying to say. So when somebody makes a positive claim, there is an apple behind my
right.
back, there is a God,
Yes.
or there isn't a God, the burden of proof is on the person who has the apple behind their back to make the claim.
Yeah, Enigma,
For
Yes.
none of this,
Well,
none
but
of
hang
this
on,
is
and to
if
relate it
somebody,
directly to what we're talking about, just say
yeah,
if somebody says I don't have an apple behind my back, they would have to
yeah,
prove that as well. And that's what J Mike
exactly.
is
That's
doing
a
here. He's
great
saying
Yeah.
analogy.
there is
No,
no apple, there
Separation.
is no Adam and Eve. Okay,
Yeah.
prove that there is
no,
no
but
Adam and Eve.
Look,
what
Zen
you are
is the
saying
only
is,
one who's
you
actually
are saying,
understanding the conversation here.
hum,
Everybody else is talking about something completely different. Zen is actually understanding, right? I am making a positive claim. I've never for a second denied that. I've actually stated I came in here to make a positive claim, right? That was the whole fucking point of joining the panel. And when
Yeah.
you ask what's the evidence for the claim, right? It's in virtue of the inductive assessment of how we know the state of affairs are, right? And
Yeah.
in virtue of understanding the world, it is a contradictory view as the view and explanation given for life in the Bible. It is a direct contradiction in light of
What's the
what we know.
contradiction?
Therefore,
No,
it's
on a
false.
philosophical scale, J Mike, you're wrong. Because on a
What's the contradiction?
philosophical level, nothing
You've stated
be
that there is a
proven.
contradiction. I would just like to know what it is. Like
Yes, the state of affairs.
I get annoyed just
The
as much
state
as the
of
next guy
affairs
when people just machine gun what's the contradiction, but really you said that there was one. So what is it?
Yes, I did. Yes, the state of affairs contradict each other. It cannot be the case that the Bible is true in light of the inductive evidence that we know, right? It's ruled out.
Okay,
It's
what
done.
is the contradictory evidence? You can't just say the Bible contradicts the real world. Like how so?
Okay, I'll give it again for the fifth time. Okay.
Hold on. Can I ask the question to J Mike too?
Okay, how about this? I've got a way that we can maybe resolve this.
I was going to answer the question. If I don't answer it,
well, yeah, I would love for you to answer the question, but maybe have either Enigma or Sci-Fi reconstruct the contradiction after you give it. That way we can know that it's
fine. They can do whatever. I'm gonna detail the contradiction again, and then that's it. It's about a waste of my time because I've said this like 7 times. Okay, right? So I'm not giving you an a priori deductive thing to generate the contradiction. What I'm doing is showing in light of inductive evidence, right? I'm saying that in the case of my explanation, right, that actually generates novel predictions, yours is contradictory. It could not be the case. Now, how do we How do we make that not the case? Okay, inductive evidence to the contrary, but that's not the state of affairs. The state of affairs is that the novel predictions in science have proven, right, the way of how our species, or the origin of our species, and we do this through new predictions, not just here's the source material of a book, which is fine. We don't have to. I'm not worried about proving that to be true. I'm worried about, in virtue of what is a justified true belief, which one is actually the justified true belief, and that is the one through the sciences, not the one through the book, which is contradicted through the actual state of affairs, through actual investigation.
Okay, can one of you reconstruct that? Because I heard the same thing.
I think he's basically saying there is evidence, scientific evidence that there is no Adam and Eve. He's arguing on scientific evidence, isn't that what?
Yeah, but I didn't actually hear what the scientific evidence was.
Adam and Eve. The entire subject of biology, the entire sciences of physics, biology.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
This is too vague. This is way too vague.
Anthropology, all of it contradicts.
You cannot just say Adam and Eve did not exist because biology. That's not informative.
Yeah,
So I have a
question. Yes, I can.
No,
They didn't exist.
No, you can't. You actually can't. That's way too vague and uninformative.
Hang on,
If
guys.
Jmike. Look, I'm not saying that that you couldn't produce novel predictions to overturn the hypothesis. What I'm saying is that the only thing we have is in virtue of what we know, and yours is ruled out until you can actually provide a substantive case.
No.
Does have a substantive
You're effectively just begging the question. You were like, well, the contradiction is all this evidence of the contrary. Okay, well, what's the evidence?
What was the conclusion nested in my premise? If you're gonna accuse me of question begging, what was the conclusion that was nested in my premise?
The conclusion in your premise is that Adam and Eve or the existence of Adam and Eve is contradicted by the scientific evidence. Therefore, it's contradictory that Adam and Eve existed. Contradictory to science. You're just begging the question. You're saying it's contradictory because there's contrary evidence. Okay.
No, it's
what's
not.
Contrary evidence.
It's like. No, it's like saying when I go to my room, look, I'm looking at a Mortal Kombat arcade. I go to my room and
I'm sure you are looking at a Mortal Kombat arcade.
I've falsified that it's not like an NFL Blitz arcade cabinet, right? In virtue of what the state of affairs are, right? So I don't know how this is difficult.
But when you are talking about God, like God doesn't use all that kind of science thing, does he?
But
I'm
Jmike.
so confused.
I have a question for Jmike.
I'm so confused because one second, Jmike, are you saying that God does not exist, or Adam and Eve?
I didn't think God didn't exist. I said Christianity is false.
All right. So let's talk about Adam and Eve.
God doesn't exist for a different reason.
You have to listen to my question to be able to answer it. Are you saying that Adam and Eve do not or have not existed to 100% certainty?
No, I don't take anything to 100% certainty. I think that.
Why don't you think anything?
Well, then I guess you just forfeited. You just forfeited.
Yeah. He just forfeited his honor.
No. You're just not.
This is gonna drag on. This is gonna drag on because this is how these people are. But he forfeited this position. I gotta go.
All right, Zen.
Have a nice day. It was great.
Can we get some messages?
I'll be back around. I'll talk to you another time. Okay.
So Zen didn't listen. Zen didn't listen when I said.
Mask off, I promise they don't help. If I saw my son in the dress, then I'll go and get my belt, look in the mirror, and tell me what you think about yourself. You need a safe space? Sorry, I don't care about what you feel. I'm about to break the meter. Two-way got my heat up. Hey, I don't wear Nike, I only rock Adidas.